Hey everyone, welcome to today's webinar spotlight featuring St Croix Academy. We're going to start in just a few seconds. Just before that, remember that this will be live but recorded. So if you have any questions, write them down and we'll go over them at the end. And if you're not able to watch the full thing, remember you can find it later on Facebook and on YouTube. So without any further ado, please welcome Hannah.
Hi.
Hi Hannah, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you, Alex?
Good. Stuck
Good
at
to
home.
talk with you.
Good luck with you as well. So St. Croix Academy. Before we start asking questions, what's something you'd like to mention, like right off the bat?
Yeah. So St. Croix is a great place for people who just really want the whole high school experience. You know, they want a lot of things that they can do in the area. They want a lot of things they can do on campus. And they want good options for their future and at an affordable price. Minnesota is really known for really nice people. And affordable cost of living. And it's just, it's not as well known as the East Coast or the West Coast, but it's just a really excellent place to live.
And going a bit more in depth about the students,
Yeah.
Are class sizes big? Are they small? Like what's the actual student experience once they're in class?
Yeah, very good question. So we have about 500 students total. Students come from about 20 different countries. And we offer grades 6 to 12. And so middle school and high school. For the student experience, you know, they're going to be with people from all over the world, but also a number of about 350 American students. So really do get that American high school experience. And one of our focuses is really connecting students with other American students, you know, giving them a mentor right away before they even arrive, giving them another international student to connect with and to kind of help them out there, and some teachers to connect with too. We believe that if a student is really well socially connected, and we've done that in an intentional way, that they're much more likely to succeed and enjoy their life here.
And many of the international students watching now are probably also watching with their parents who have very different questions than maybe the student has regarding safety or how the acclimate process works for students. So for a student that already enrolled, already applied, and it's starting over there with you guys, what would a first day look like?
Yeah, very good question. So we try to provide a lot of structure so that students, students don't fall through the cracks, so that they are set up well to succeed. The students will wake up about 7 o'clock. The younger grade students have their phones and their computers are in a locked cabinet overnight, which a lot of parents like. And the students are in class from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And then from 3 o'clock to 6:30, the students have some free time. We have a lot of things that students can walk to. They can use our electronic sign out and go off campus to a coffee shop or get their hair cut or things like that. And then every Sunday night, the parents will receive a report like, hey, your student took an Uber to the Mall of America, or your student went to this coffee shop with their friend. So that's kind of how we communicate with those families. All our students live in our on-campus dormitory. It's located right on a lake and a large park. So the students live in two-person rooms with like a small study lounge and kitchenette in the dormitory, and then have a dorm teacher there taking care of that group of students.
Okay. So you'd say that dorm style housing for students is actually, in a way, I wouldn't say better, but different, because it does help students prepare for the future when they do go off to college, or is that?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I talk with our alumni, and they are first going off to university, I ask, how's it going? And they're like, oh, these other kids can't get used to living in a dormitory, but I did it for 4 years. I know exactly what to do. I know how to live with a roommate. I know how to do my own like banking or how to like run my life and stuff. So it definitely does. It's also great for academics, because, say you're in AP Physics. You have probably 20 kids in the dorm who are also taking AP Physics. So it's a great place for study groups and really working with other students to getting help on classes and working together.
Okay, so getting used to the adult life that's almost waiting for them in the near future.
Absolutely.
And you said they had a bit of free time. Within that free time in the school itself, are there any extra activities they can do? Like you said, walking nearby to coffee shops or whatnot, but in the school, like clubs or sports?
Yeah. So more than 50 activities that students can take part in. Sports like, basketball, soccer, dance team, track and field, bowling. So a large variety of sports, and then some like academic things like robotics team or math team. Our math team has actually won the state championship last year, and they're probably going to win again this year. Or speech team for students who are interested in more like more non-sports things.
Okay. And to the students looking into actually applying to St. Croix, what would be any special requirements they need? Any testing, English proficiency, Duolingo?
Yeah, very, very good question. So we do have 3 levels of ESL. So we can accommodate students who have more English needs. We can accept any standard English test, and in some cases we can do an in-person interview. So some level of English is definitely required, but it depends on a student's age. So younger students, a more developing level of English can be okay. We also want to see an excellent history of academics and behavior, and we just want to see really strong character. Are you a student who wants to go overseas, who is really going to take advantage of this opportunity? And those are the students we really want to work with.
So you recommend students be outgoing and secure when they actually decide to apply?
Yeah. Is this what you really want to do? And that's the one thing I look for when I interview students. If this is just your parents' idea, then it's probably not going to go well. But if this is something where you and your parents are really united on this, St. Croix can really help them, because we really want to partner with those parents too.
Okay. And is there any special curriculum or high academic or
Yeah, very good question. So I would say some of our strongest programs are science, with a number of AP courses in the sciences, STEM, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And then we're also very have a very strong visual art curriculum. But the focus is university prep. So the majority of our students do want to go on to U.S. university. So we're really focused on getting them prepared for that.
Okay. So about the town itself, you mentioned that students go to coffee shops and whatnot, but what's it like? The environment. What's the vibe when students are there? Because students sometimes, that might be the defining matter. If it's a big city, if it's small, if it's a big forest, like if it's not. So
yeah, very good question. So we're about 5 minutes from the St. Paul City Center, but our neighborhood is like residential family homes. So residential family homes, and then I said, I mentioned there was like a main street with coffee shops and things like that. So that's one side of the school. The other side is a lake and a large park. So students, a lot of times after school, they'll go hiking or walking around the lake, and they'll see bald eagles, and they'll see deer, and they'll see big turtles and stuff if they like the outdoors and that kind of stuff. And then in the evening, maybe they want to go into the city for a concert or to a restaurant or to a professional baseball game. not right now, obviously, but in normal times. We do also have 4 seasons. So it's really, really warm in the fall when students show up, and then we do get snow in the winter. And so we love taking students skiing or ice skating, snow tubing. We just went last week. And then in the summer, or when it gets to be the spring again, the spring and the fall are just really, really comfortable weather.
You mentioned snow tubing.
Yeah.
What is that? Because I'm pretty sure if I don't know many of the other students.
Yeah, very good question. So you know, like sledding?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically sledding, but you're on a big tube. So you're on this big inflatable tube,
Okay.
and you sled down the hill, and then they have a rope that pulls you back up. So you lie on your tube and they pull you up the hill, so you don't have to walk up the hill. It's like a ski lift.
Okay.
But that's something we like taking the students to every year because, you know, for some of them maybe have come from a climate that doesn't have snow. It's fun to be able to experience.
That was actually my specific case because I went to Tennessee for high school, kind of an exchange program thing. But a few things no one ever told me about it was that it would snow and it would be cold.
Oh, no.
And many other things. So I wasn't prepared for it. So not just on the academic side, but what would be some tips and tricks you want students that are going there to know that they might not be able to find out if they're just Googling you guys?
Absolutely. So I would really want them to connect with one of our students or one of our families. So when students inquire with us with applywave, you know, we want to get them connected with other students right away, because I can tell you what I think students like, but it's best to hear it from one of them. And so talking with them, what do you like? What's your favorite class? What activities do you enjoy? What's your favorite thing about St. Croix? What's the worst thing about St. Croix? You know, we want them to hear all of those things.
Okay, so more one-on-one when it comes to students questioning.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we would love for them to know more about our area and stuff like that. But the best is hearing it from a family.
Yeah, and one particular question that I know many parents want to know about. For an international student, what's an approximate cost per year for students?
Yeah, very good question. So our total cost, including tuition, room and board, activities, books, all things like that, the total cost for this coming year, 2021, in fall is $37,900. We do have a number of scholarships available at some of our, if a student qualifies for our highest scholarship levels, the cost would be about $22,900. So around $23,000 to $25,000 if a student qualifies for those scholarships. And they would apply for that scholarship by applying through applywave, by working, giving us those grades and documents, doing an interview, and then we'd be happy to talk about those options.
Okay. So you really recommend students prepping with time, you know, being serious about their grade point average, doing well on the SAT, ACT, and all the prep exams that are needed way back before, right?
Yeah, all of that stuff is great, and is important. You know, knowing that a student is committed to their school right now, is that they're working hard at it is always a good indicator that they're going to do well at our school.
Okay, great. So you mentioned the scholarships. Most of them in this case would be academically based, so no sports in this case.
Correct, not specifically for sports.
Okay. So before wrapping up, any final thoughts, final things you'd like to mention?
Yeah, so at St. Croix, we're looking for the total student and really educating someone, all parts of a student. So their academics, but also their emotional well-being, their physical well-being, and we just want to, there's kind of something for everybody here. And so I would just love to talk to students about what are their goals and see if St. Croix is a place that can really fit that for them.
Well, thank you for that. Now, to all students watching, now you've met Hannah, you've heard her talk about what the school is looking for in future students, and no need to be afraid. Ask questions, be secure. Before we leave, I would just like to show everyone how to find St. Croix on applywave. So I will share my screen in 1 second. There we go. So I'm right now at St. Croix Academy's actual profile, but I'm going to walk us through the process of getting here. So we'll go to the home screen of applywave.com, and once we're at the home screen, again, just by logging in as a student, click the right top corner, put your name, email, really simple, and then click high school, where to study at, St. Croix, and then click search, and it'll take you directly to the pre-profile of the school. Once here, click again to read more, and then you'll be able to see the complete profile with all the information as mentioned before, the tuition, the potential scholarship, requirements, description, geographic location, so parents interested in knowing where their kids will be at, a few pictures that actually look really, really big on community, drama class, I'm pretty sure this is track, music, and everything else. So, Anna, thank you for everything today.
Thank you.
For your ideas. And to everyone watching, thank you as well. We'll see you next time.